Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be doing 5.1, which is Introduction to Polynomials. So the definition here of polynomials is a polynomial is an expression that contains variables, coefficients, operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And most importantly, these are non-negative integer exponents. So here is just like a general formula of how the equation is going to look like. Starting off from the left here, we have the highest degree with your an, which is just the variable. And then if you go all the way down from left to right, we do have here a0. As you can see, there's no x here because the x decreases as the equation goes on. So like I said, x represents the variable an minus 1 dot 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 a1 a0. So like this part here are the coefficients. So for example, we do have 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. So this polynomial has three terms. So the first term is our 2x squared, the next term is 4x, and the last term is minus 1. So as you can see here, that the reason why there's three terms is because there's three different degrees. So the first one is a degree of 2, the second one is a degree of 1, and the third one simply has no degree. So that's why there's three different terms. However, like let's say the example is 2x squared plus 5x squared plus 1. So in this case, you would not say that there's three terms. Why? Because this and this are both terms that are the same. So simply, we're going to be talking about this in other videos, but I'm just going to do like a little introduction right now. So these two, you can simply just add them up because it is just one term. So it's going to be 7x squared plus 1 because we're going to simplify it. Now we can say that there's two terms because there's x squared and there's a 1. And the 1 does not have any degrees simply, so that's degree 0. So there's going to be only two terms. So terms are numbers, variables, or the product of numbers and variables. And the coefficients of the variable here is 2 and 4. So like I said, remember here the a is basically the coefficients. So coefficients is just a number in front of like your x or whatever degree of x you have. So over here is just another example. So 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. So over here it says that the term with the greatest exponent determines the degree of the polynomial. So in this case, the polynomial has degree 2. So in all of this, 4x is simply to degree of 1. This is 2. So 2 is greater than 1. So this would be our greatest exponent. So 4x, the term 4x has degree 1 because this is simply to the power of 1. Sometimes they don't necessarily write 4x1 because it's obviously just 1, so the 1 can just not be there, and that's why it's just 4x. So this term has a degree 1. This one here, this is a constant term, like over here our a0. The value for this does not change when the value of x changes. So this has a degree of 0 because we don't see any x in beside it, so that's why it's just going to be a degree of 0. So the polynomials with 1, 2, or 3 terms have special names. So monomial has one term. So examples are 5a. This only has one term because it only has the a, which is degree of 1. Then minus 2x squared. This by itself has a degree of 2. And then we have 1, which is just simply has no degree, but it does have one term, which is going to be 1. Monomial has two terms. So remember, like I said, different terms, like I gave this example right here. It just has to be basically like, think of it as like, let's say like your x squared is a cat and then your x is like a dog. Obviously, cat and dogs don't go along together, so they're going to be two different things, so two different terms. So let me go back. A binomial has two terms. So this is one term right here, and this is the second term right here. And then this is also an example. The m squared is one term, and the 3m is another term. because this is degree 1 and this is degree 2, which is not the same. And a trinomial has 3 terms, so there's 2x squared plus 5x plus 5. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Their degrees are all different, hence why it has 3 terms. No. It is also written in descending orders, so exponents of the variable decrease from left to right. So for example, if you have this right here, this is not in the correct order because this has a degree 0, this has degree 2, this has degree 1. If you were to write it properly, this would be first because it's the highest degree, which is 2. This would be second because this has the second highest degree, which is 1. And obviously this will be third because it has no degree to it. So it will be written as 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. So these are some examples that we're going to do. Feel free to pause it if you guys want, and you guys can do this by itself and come back when I'm done, or you guys can just follow through along with me. So, is a polynomial a monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Explain. So, like again, guys, we're going to go back to here and we're just going to highlight this because we are going to be using this for reference. So remember, guys, a monomial has one term. So we can say that C is a monomial right here because there's nothing else attached to it. There's only this, and this does have the degree 2. So this is going to be a monomial. Next, binomial. So this means it has 2 terms. So the x's have different degrees. So this is a, but a is also just like is another way of saying x. So you can have x, b, c, any variable that you guys want. So this is just going to be a binomial because this has a degree 1 and this has a degree 0. These two are completely different degrees, so they are 2 different terms. The next one is trinomial. This is degree of 2, that's different. And then this is supposed to be, 2x. So this is going to be also another term. So it has the degree 1. And then we have 4, which is the degree 0. These are all different degrees, so it's going to be trinomial. Next, name the coefficient, variable, and degree of each monomial. So starting off with 7x. So the coefficient is, remember, the number before, like your x. So our coefficient is 7. Our variable and degree is going to be 1 is the degree. And our variable is just going to be x. So 14, like again, our coefficient is going to be 14. And then our variable is going to be x. And our degree, so the highest number is going to be this 2. Now for this one, our coefficient is just going to be 1. Our variable, so this can also just be m, which is also like x, but it's just different. And then the degree is simply just 1, because this is m to the power of 1. If it was m to the power 0, then it just would be, remember, in our previous lessons, if it's anything to the power 0, it's just going to be 1. Or it simply would not exist because there's no degree to it. So number 3, we are going to be guessing or just making up a random polynomial that has the following terms. So A, write a polynomial with degree 0 with 1 term. So degree 0, so technically we can't have any x's inside and only has to have 1 term. So we can easily just write just a coefficient in this case. So we can just do 2, which would count as a degree of 0 with 1 term. Now it says degree of 2, 3 terms, and a constant term is 7. So our constant term is always fixed, so it's going to be 7 plus, and we have 2 more because it has 3 terms, 1, 2, and 3. If it has to be degree 0, we know our x has to be 2, and the other degree has to be degree of 1, so x1 plus 7. So this can be another way how you can write it, or if you guys also want to add a coefficient in front, you guys can do like 7x squared plus 2x. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote the minus 1 plus 2x and then plus 7. It's up to you. Any of these examples will work as long as you guys have 3 terms and the 7 is there and you have these 2 degrees. So this was all for my video, guys. I really hope you guys learned something and you guys are following through. Please remember to subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.